When I woke from my unconscious state, I was horrified to find myself dressed in an unfamiliar set of clothes. Frantically surveying my surroundings, I discovered that the walls were entirely constructed of steel plates. I tried every method I could think of, but the steel door remained completely immovable. At that moment, I suddenly noticed a mysterious device strapped to my wrist. I attempted to tear it off, even scraping it repeatedly against the walls, only to discover that this device was somehow harder than the steel door itself. This realization plunged me into despair. Just when I was at a complete loss, the wall behind me suddenly opened, revealing a deep, dark tunnel. After a brief moment of deliberation, I had no choice but to crawl inside. What I hadn't anticipated was that the moment I entered the passage, the entrance sealed shut behind me. Simultaneously, the device on my wrist began counting down. Though this left me thoroughly bewildered, I had no option but to continue crawling forward through the tunnel. I had barely advanced a few meters when an eerie scraping sound emanated from beyond the tunnel walls. Using the light from my wrist device, I looked back in terror, only to find nothing there. I pressed on. Just then, a steel door ahead began sliding closed. I immediately accelerated. Fortunately, the door didn't close completely, leaving only a narrower gap. I had to endure the crushing pressure against my chest as I squeezed through the opening. Before I could catch my breath, the scene before me left me utterly perplexed. The passage was divided into two levels by a partition, colored LED strips illuminating both sides. After a moment's hesitation, I chose the more spacious upper passage. To my dismay, shortly after I crawled in, the partition began rising while the ceiling simultaneously compressed downward. Terrified by this sight, I desperately scrambled forward. However, as I increased my speed, the partition rose correspondingly faster. Fortunately, I managed to crawl out just before the partition completely sealed the passage. I collapsed on the ground, gasping for air. The countdown on my wrist had stopped. After a brief recovery with no way back, I had to continue forward. That's when I spotted what appeared to be a human figure ahead. I called out repeatedly, but received no response. When I approached to investigate, I discovered it was a highly decomposed corpse. The putrid smell was overwhelming. Fighting back my nausea, I had to move the body aside. That instant, the countdown on my wrist reactivated, and another steel door blocked my path. The band turned red, beginning a 1-minute countdown. Suddenly, countless flamethrowers emerged from the ceiling, and the temperature skyrocketed. Just as I stood paralyzed with fear, an alcove appeared behind me. I quickly retreated into it. The second I ducked inside, a glass panel sealed the compartment, and the countdown on my wrist hit 0. Flames erupted instantly. Only after all the flame jets retracted into the walls did the glass slowly open.